In the current context of an increasingly globalized world, bilingualism has become a viable skill. Inclusive, approximately half of the world population is bilingual, and which demonstrate the relevance of this phenomenon. For that, in this context, bilingualism is defined as the ability to communicate effectively in two languages, either simultaneously from birth or sequentially by learning a second language after acquiring the first, right? Whether due to the cultural missing, ethnic grade, or maybe the personal choice. The thing is, this phenomenon not only allows children to communicate in different cultural contexts, right, but also has a positive effects on their cognitive and linguistic development. And these effects include a greater cognitive flexibility, which is the ability to adapt to new situations and metalinguistic skills. Okay, and which allows them to reflect on language. Um, Although there is a misconception that bilingualism can delay language development, and scientific evidence suggests otherwise. Okay, and for this, bilingualism children can develop a strong language skills in both languages without significant delays. In addition, bilingualism can enhance long-term academic or inclusive professional opportunities, becoming an invaluable resource in our increasingly interconnected world.
Developing literacy skills in children learning a second language. Literacy, the ability to read and write, goes beyond just knowing letters and words. It involves understanding sounds, language, and books. These foundational skills are crucial for academic success and personal development. Parents and teachers play a really important role because they provide encouragement and a rich linguistic environment by engaging children in speaking, listening, comprehending, and observing, which is the base for successful reading and writing. To develop literacy, children need to acquire several skills. First, phonological awareness. Understanding the relationship between letters and sounds is fundamental. Research shows that phonological skills transferred across languages helps children to decode and comprehend texts more effectively. Second, phonemic awareness. Recognizing and manipulating sounds within words is essential too. Higher language proficiency often leads to better phonemic skills, which are critical for reading development. Third, knowledge of the alphabet. Learning the letters and their sounds in one language can help in learning another language. This knowledge is crucial for pronunciation and reading. And finally, print awareness. Early book sharing activities with parents help children understand how books work. These activities expand their vocabulary and comprehension skills. Challenges for bilingual children. Bilingual children often face unique challenges in literacy development. They may struggle with phonological awareness and vocabulary, and in this way with reading. There are two main approaches to teaching reading to bilingual children. First, sequential learning. In this approach, children learn to read in one language first, then transfer those skills to the second language. This method is effective but depends on the child's and family's preferences. Two, simultaneous learning. This approach involves teaching children to read in both languages at the same time. Research shows that both simultaneous and sequential learning are effective, offering flexibility based on individual needs.
Theories and benefits of bilingualism. A balance theory (SAP) it determines that the language are kept separate within the mind, and as the ability of one increases, the second may decrease. For example, we can imagine two balloons inside the mind, one for the mother tongue and another balloon for the second language. As one grows, the other should diminish. Studies have shown that L1 and L2 develop simultaneously, yet it has been proven that children can learn more than one language without limiting the other. Common underlying proficiency cap. This theory mentions that bilingual speakers have a central cognitive system for both language. It facilitates that acquisition of language skills through cognitive processes such as literacy and problem solving. Threshold theory. This theory finds it difficult to define appropriate levels of language proficiency. Learners develop language differently, and it is often complex to determine the language proficiency levels for each. And finally, my final theory is the linguistic interdependence hypothesis. Mentions that the level of the L1 depends on the L2. The more the acquisition of the L1 is developed, the easier the process of acquiring the L2 will be. He used the social language in everyday life and the academic language in more formal cases such as educational and work context. Okay, this part, the four benefits I can mention are: one, you have a greater cognitive attention. Bilingual people retain better visually than monolinguals. Two, there is a positive intercultural competence because when learning a language, you also learn about the culture associated with the language. Okay, three, the cognitive benefits of bilingualism are due to factors such as migration, education, and economics rather than bilingualism as two language theory. And finally, four, bilingualism provides advantage in cross-cultural competence and attention.
External factors influence second language acquisition. Second language acquisition is a process influenced by the wide range of factors that can be grouped into two main categories: external and internal factors. The external factors and their impact on L2 learning are described below. Home exposure to native speakers and linguistic interaction at home determining outcomes in bilingual development. Studies show that children who interact more with native speakers achieve better results. School. The quality of teacher resources and methodology at the school are fundamental. Schools that actively encourage L2 learning and provide an environment rich in linguistic opportunities promote better language development. Community support. Community support and appreciation towards L2 learning can significantly influence. A study in Singapore found that social support impacts L2 vocabulary in children. Social prestige. Languages with greater social prestige tend to be learned with greater success. Individuals are more motivated to learn a socially valued and recognized language. Similarities and difference between languages. The phonetic and structural similarities between the mother tongue L1 and the L2 facilitate learning. Studies indicate that bilingually learned when new words in the L2 have similarity sounds to their L1. Thank you.
Internal factors include this aspect: age. Younger students tend to acquire a language more naturally. A younger age can lead to the better pronunciation, greater native fluency, and the deeper understanding of the language. The other aspect is the motivation. A children's motivation and the self-confidence are key factors in her ability to learn a second language quickly and effectively. The other aspect is the language learning aptitude, refers to an individual's natural ability to learn a language which can significantly influence her success in acquiring the second language. External factor. Several external factors affect the second language acquisition, including the environment in which learning occurs, community support for the learning, the language, the social prestige associated with the second language, and different speech sounds between the two languages. Frequent exposure. The regular and frequent exposure to a second language is essential to develop competence. Constant exposure helps reinforce learning, improve the comprehension, and develop fluency, making a crucial internal factor in effective the second language acquisition. Conclusion. Bilingualism positively impacts children's language development, improving the cognitive skills and the cultural awareness. Effective teaching methods and the comprehensive teacher training are the crucial to supporting the bilingual students. It's necessary more research is needed to understand the cognitive differences and improve the educational strategies from bilingual children.